Hudson and Scotty B need a therapist, and we got one. I'm Hudson Hot, Scotty Blaisdell, and our therapist, Alan Wagner. How you doing?
Doing well. We had a little time off because of various things.
Yep.
I went to James Madison's home in Virginia.
What?
Yeah, and got to tour that property. A little history. It was Constitution Day. He's known as the father of Constitution. I got to stand in the room where he came up with a lot of it.
Wow.
It was amazing to be there, but it's such a dichotomy because you've got this important thing that moved America forward. And at the same time, there's the history of the enslaved people that were on that property as well that you learn about. So I love just going to places for history and the fact that we can just drive there.
That's really cool. I know you love history. You're like a little history buff.
The whole area where we are of the Carolinas and Virginia, I mean, these are the original states of the country. So when you think about all of the different bloodshed that's happened here and history, it's amazing, but also just good history too. I mean, like
Yeah,
just,
North Carolina is where Kitty Hawk is, where the Wright brothers,
yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
did
no,
their
we
thing.
we went by and checked that out when we
Yeah.
first came to visit. Yeah, some cool stuff. Have you
First,
ever gone to one of these events where like the Civil War, like, because I know you're into history and stuff. Have you ever like gotten dressed up in the full gear?
Oh, I haven't, but there is one at the Guilford Courthouse. It's part of the Revolutionary War battlefield, and they do the reenactments there, full costumes and everything.
Well, people do that full costume thing too, at the Renaissance fairs and everything else. And I feel like it's fair season. I thought sometimes we get hooked into watching these YouTubers hit various state fairs and the different foods, and I get sucked into watching all this crazy food. And I know you both love food, and you want to go to the fairs where they served the fried pickles with strawberry sauce on
Yeah, stuff
top,
with cream
weird
cheese and
stuff like
strawberry
that.
sauce or
What
something.
is the weirdest thing you actually ate at a fair? Do you remember anything, Alan, offhand?
I think the fried ice cream, I don't know if you've had that. That's pretty cool. It's sometimes it's the French fries. And they give you these like either a cup full of fries or a block full of fries, and it's massive, but they're fresh cut. And there's something about the seasonings and whatever, they're insane.
Nothing really weird for you. Like I've had a fried Snickers before.
Yeah, I've had that before. Is that weird to have like fried candy bars and fried cookies and
Yeah.
oh, it
I
is?
think
Okay.
anything frying that's not supposed to be
I
fried.
always kind of think when people are frying up like pickles and other types of things with hot dogs and cheese and putting it into something, like that's kind of interesting. I thought like the deep fried pizza was interesting.
When do you think this kind of going off the deep end with creations started? Because I remember growing up, you'd go to fairs, it was basic stuff, the maybe the funnel cakes and the corn dogs and stuff. But then it suddenly just switched to I'm going to fry everything in the on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, you
But I
know,
don't know where this originated.
but Hudson,
Okay.
on the fair stuff, like, I think where there was this guy, and I forgot his name. He was in California, and there's a name. He went to California, Utah, Arizona, and he was making millions and millions of dollars doing just the fairs for like 12 days. And so his course of a year, his business was, I think, $3 or $4 million for doing like three or four fairs. And I think to your question, Scotty, of like when did they start doing this stuff, was when they saw this guy frying up Twinkies, and he was making so much money because people would pay $10 for a fried Twinkie. And how much does it cost to make a fried Twinkie? And so the profit margin is insane. And so next thing you know, it's like everybody's just doing it because it's just they were copying him and his model of millions and millions of dollars. And if you can come creative with like a peanut butter and jelly deep fried with, jalapeno sauce on top, everybody will eat it.
Now that's a good point because economically, I'm sure the profit margin's still pretty good on funnel cakes and all that, but it doesn't get you excited. And so when you go to the fair, you're thinking, what's the new thing that I can try while I'm here?
Mhm.
And yeah, you're willing to pay up for it. You know, when you would normally pay $5 or $7, you'll go $10, $12
Yep.
just for that experience. Minnesota State Fair is known for
Mhm.
being a place where a lot of this stuff is launched. And I was seeing something this year I'm not sure about. It's called the Afro Bean Pop. Have you heard of this?
No, what is that?
It's deep fried bites made from ground black eyed peas, onions, jalapenos, cilantro with a spicy red chili sauce. So it's like a savory thing, but the base of it is black eyed peas.
I don't know. It sounds interesting. I think the strangest dish I've ever had. They gave us a half of a pineapple and there was like fried weird stuff in it and then like chunks of like tuna on top. It looked bizarre, but it was actually pretty good. And I don't know what it was called. Somebody who's listening maybe has had it. I had it at the Pasadena Food Festival.
So was that like ahi or was it like canned tuna?
No, no, it was like ahi. So
Okay.
it was chunks of ahi, but it wasn't seared, it was raw.
Something about like taking something that's normal and dropping it in batter and throwing it into the fryer. And I feel like that's whatever the newest version of that is, I'll try. Whether it's a hamburger, like I said, a slice of pizza, just take something that I like, throw
There
it in
was
batter
something
and fry it.
There was something really interesting that we just watched because we were thinking about, let's talk about some of these foods that they serve at fairs. And we were watching on YouTube this guy who goes around. Something that looks really good to me is it's a frozen block of cheese that
Mm.
they wrap in bacon and then they deep fry it. And the way that the cheese doesn't just goo out is because it's frozen and the bacon sort of holds it in, it locks in all that cheese. And then they drizzled it with a jalapeno maple syrup. And it looked so good to me. If somebody's serving that up, I will drive to that fair because I really want to try that.
I feel like I need a Lipitor just from hearing that described.
Lipitor.
And then you have to drive home in an enclosed vehicle with your family, which would be a
Right.
problem for me.
You
But
guys put
along those lines, I saw that they still are deep frying butter.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Have you ever had that?
I never, no, I'm not having deep fried butter.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know.
it's kind of like these other things are like, ooh, this is a playful thing. This is a, ooh, try this. This is just like, hey, what's the worst thing you could possibly have? A big bunch of butter. Why don't we fry it? It just,
Genius.
I know.
to
I
me, it
have,
doesn't even hide like it's pretending to be something. It's just
right.
what it
You know,
is.
and it's funny too because at those state fairs, it's like Carney Central, and so it's that they always have rides, but they're like the scary rides, with like no seatbelts and like the ones that like you're holding on to your kid so he doesn't go flying off, and so you're eating all this crazy food and getting onto these crazy rides.
Hudson knows one of my brothers worked for the circus at one point.
That's right. His brother was a
Um,
circus worker.
she always said he's a carny, but he was
He's
actually
a
a circus
carny.
worker. But it's a similar life in that you're going from place to place. And what I always said about carnival rides is you got to imagine the monotony of putting the ride up and
Yep.
taking it down. At some point, you go, I bet 4 bolts will hold this. Do
Mhm.
I really need to tighten this down all the way?
Does it need 6 bolts? Let's
The
just look
human
for.
human nature is to do things in a lazy way, and especially
Oh.
some of the people I've
Did you
seen.
ever ask your brother?
Well, again, his was circus stuff, so not the rides. It was more setting up tents and dealing with animals.
Right.
What was that Mike Myers thing when he said carnies? They have small hands and smell like, oh God, it was in one of the Hudson Power movies or Wayne's World or something. But yeah, carnies are a trip. But going back into the food stuff, sorry about that.
What a crazy
But
podcast this is today.
honestly, like we were watching the Minnesota State Fair. It's funny you brought that up because that is the biggest state fair. And that's probably the tentpole of where you come up with the craziest ideas of what you're gonna do. Like, but I'm so excited. I want to hear some more of the funny stuff because I know you guys have lists.
Well, I've got one here that is like the top end of
Ooh,
the fair foods.
like Michelin star.
Like
Yes,
lobster.
it's at the Iowa State Fair. It's called the Gold Leaf Lobster Roll.
Mm.
It's a gilded lobster roll with gold leaf, a duck fat toasted bun, caviar.
Wow.
I have no idea what they're charging for this, but can you only imagine?
No, I can't. No, but I do know they serve a lobster on a stick for $67. 67 bucks. Who's gonna drop $67 just for themselves to try some deep fried lobster on a stick?
You would totally do that, I believe. I think that's just a cute thing.
Alan, we got to try it.
I know she would totally go for it. Like anything lobster. I know she's making fun of it now, but if we were at the fair, she'd be nudging me to like get that one.
See, that's the thing. She would nudge you to get it. It's not
Correct.
that she would get
Just
it,
so she
right?
could taste it. Yeah. And then I'd be eating the deep fried lobster. But yeah.
That's correct. It's just like, at anything, you order it and let's get
Why?
that.
It's like I like that. I think it was the fairs they created the corn dog, right? And so that whole idea of that corn batter has so many possibilities. It's not just a hot dog you can put in it, it's anything. And so that's what we were watching was like all these people using corn dog batter for seafood, for different kinds of chicken and steak. And it's just amazing. Like it's not just a hot dog anymore. I love it.
No, but you've also noticed that there's cups filled with stuff.
Yep.
For example, you both tell me, because I know do you guys like barbecue?
Yeah, I
Oh
love
yeah.
barbecue.
How about a barbecue Sunday with pulled pork layered with mashed potatoes and on the very bottom, ice cream in a parfait glass. Ice cream is at the bottom. Then there's mashed potatoes, and then there's the pulled pork. So you have your full meal, your dinner and your dessert all in one cup. Does that sound appetizing to you?
No.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
think,
leave out the ice cream. Let's have that as a separate part.
I was thinking when you were saying that Sunday, I thought it was like a fake Sunday where the mashed potatoes were the ice cream. But then you actually added ice cream to it, and that's just
no, it's
like
added.
nasty.
So for me, if I were to layer it correctly, the way that it would sound appetizing it would have to be the mashed potatoes on top, then the barbecue, and then the ice cream. Have you ever mixed like potato chips with like weird stuff?
Well,
There's
yeah,
something.
people put fries in the ice cream. I get that, but this is barbecue. To me,
Yeah.
barbecue says sauce and it just that getting into
Tangy
ice cream.
and
I know. Can I tell you another one? Silkworm poupée. Do you know what silkworm is?
Well, I know what a silkworm is.
Well, I don't know what
It's
poop.
a worm that makes silk. It's literally its name.
Yeah, but that's another one that's showing up this
But
year.
what is it doing? What are they doing with it?
It's just fried silkworm poupée that you eat. It's a
Yeah.
Korean specialty, and I guess it's going to be at the fairs.
Well, you think about street food in certain countries, and there's a lot of that sort of stuff where it's a
it's
bug.
Yeah,
And I guess you don't really taste the bug, probably. It's more about the fried part that you're
yeah.
tasting,
have you
and
guys
you're
ever
getting
had,
that protein.
have you guys ever had fried insects?
I don't think I ever have. No.
I remember once I was in Cambodia and I was hanging out with all these people and they're all laughing at me because they actually fry up ants for the texture and then they sprinkle it across their food so that it adds an extra crunch to it. And so you don't taste the ants, but apparently like they salt them and everything and it adds this extra crunch. And so it's just more of a texture thing. But all over Asia, it's like that's a big thing. There's big booths where they're selling every kind of bug you can imagine, deep fried. People eat
So
them.
did you eat any other bugs in Cambodia?
Oh, I did actually. I think I've had a few bugs in life. I've had grasshoppers, I've had ants, I've had some other bugs I don't even know. But they don't taste like bugs. It's kind of like we can be grossed out by it, but if you really think about chicken and other kinds of meats we eat, it's how it's processed to be prepared for you. Is it really any less gross? I don't know.
Well, they talk about lobster being like the cockroach of the sea or
Yeah.
whatever, because it's down there basically consuming the little particles and
Yeah,
you
shrimp.
know,
And
yeah.
I love it. I love lobster and I love shrimp.
Just don't ever think about where food comes from. That will do you in
No,
anyway.
Mhm.
but this one is the one that pisses me off the most.
Okay.
They serve spaghetti and meatball in ice cream cones. And the reason I say this is that was my idea years ago. I told Alan because Alan makes the world's best meatballs. I wanted to buy a little food truck and go out, with the food trucks and sell Alan's meatballs in my cone because they're so delicious. Two
What
giant meatballs.
what kind of cone?
So I was going to make a garlic bread cone. That was going to
Okay.
be my difference. And now I'm seeing it pop up this year all over the place. And we saw it on TV and I said, Alan, did I not?
No, we missed our opportunity on that one. Yeah, they were serving a lot of stuff in these quote unquote cones where they're making them out of like you said, garlic bread or other kinds of it's not made out of like a sugar cone or something like that for ice
Mhm.
cream, but it's actually just a way for it to be handheld and then you can
Yeah.
eat the whole thing. It's a
Well,
great.
I think ultimately that's what a lot of this food stuff is just that you can buy it and walk around and eat
Yep.
it as you go. I'm surprised more drive-throughs don't try some of these crazy concoctions because people, yeah, I mean, you can't eat a taco while you're driving.
No, but you could go to the cookout, and if you've got a cookout by you, you can get the walk-in taco, and it's one of my favorite things, and it's like $1.50. I'm not joking. It's a little bag of Doritos, and they dump in the chili meat, the tomatoes, the chopped onions, a little sour cream, and lettuce, and cheese, and it is so good. Try it the next time you go to cookout.
Cookout doesn't agree with me, but
Really?
yeah, that's one of those. It's for folks in other parts of the country. Again, they don't know this place, but
Wow.
I like the ice cream there, but that's it.
Good shakes.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't believe you of all people, they serve so much food for such a little amount of money. That must make you so sad.
I know, and that it did make me sad because I went, I had a bad experience. I went again, and I had a bad experience.
Like,
So
okay, maybe it's just, are you going to the same cookout?
no, I tried to. Okay, let's not
All right, so off of
do that
cookout,
over
Hudson and I love cookout, Scotty, and these are fighting words. So you can see that you're getting her upset right now.
it.
We love cookout. She
We
loves that
do.
walking taco. We love their watermelon shakes, their burgers. It's kind of
Ellen,
like
let's go
we
there
don't get In and
today.
Out anymore. It's like our In and Out sort of here.
Ugh, okay, well, to each his own.
Wow. I'm
Uh,
so sad for you.
okay, here's one more I got for you since you mentioned spaghetti and meatballs. There's spaghetti and meatballs on a stick.
Mm.
How is that
It's
possible? I guess
it's
they wrap it around.
a meatball with pasta. It's battered, fried, skewered, and served with marinara.
Oh,
That sounds good.
It does
that's
sound
some
good.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
There's also the cotton candy burritos this year. It's cotton candy wrapped around ice cream and cereal.
Yeah. See, when you do stuff like that, it's just a different mixture of different textures and things that do kind of
Work.
relate. But when you've added barbecue to ice
Ice cream.
cream, you lose me.
Yeah, I could never do mashed potatoes and ice cream. That really got me right there too, Scotty.
Yeah.
I mean, Scotty has eaten cow testicles before.
Yeah, I
Have you ever had a craving ever since you had them?
never. And if you remember, she brought these in, Alan, to the studio. And I don't know why, if I lost a bet or something, but
You lost a bet.
I didn't know what she was going to feed me. But then I smelled it. And as I took a bite, this is the only time I've ever almost thrown up live on the radio. I was making that noise and it was
Just
just terrible.
gagging.
But I think it was because you imagine eating something like that, not just in general, but at like 6 o'clock in the morning, like
Cow
first thing.
testicles. But
I
you
was
said aside from the smell, it had a texture.
Yeah,
I
there was,
remember being in Idaho, and it's for people who are listening, they're called Rocky Mountain oysters.
yeah.
Yep,
And so if you know what the thing is, it's just big giant cow testicles or
that's what he
bull
had.
testicles. But just looking at them, people ate them. Like it was sometimes a gag at some of the restaurants, but other times it was something that people actually enjoyed. And so, I mean, I try not to judge people because at gas stations, you see the weirdest thing, like pickled pig's feet and other stuff. So it's like, I understand that everyone eats differently, but that was one, like, I remember everyone was pushing me, oh, you got to try Rocky Mountain oyster. At least just try it once. And I couldn't do it. But kudos to you, Scotty.
Yeah, well,
Ball
but
eater.
yeah, yeah, I will probably never crave a testicle again, I'll be honest.
And I'm surprised. And I think,
You're
after
surprised. No, you're not surprised.
What you don't know is that Hudson actually has this mail-in order where she gets those big testicles and she loves
Yes.
them. She'll slather them with teriyaki, throw them on the flat top. She is like really
I
into
turn him into smash balls.
smash balls. Oh
So
yeah.
And Alan has no idea. I flatten him out and I make smash balls.
Yep.
it's like a butcher box, but
Butcher box.
specialty
For
one.
cow testicles.
Yeah. Lifetime.
I will never forget the smell either. And the
Yeah.
little white, there was like white,
Yeah,
like
like a
cartilage.
membrane. Yeah, there's a membrane you have to take off.
We never did that.
You ate it with the membrane? Just watching the
Well,
people eat it, I didn't have a smell because they prepared it or whatever, but it was like
I never touched, I never did anything to them. I just fried them in the pan until I poked it to peek to make sure it wasn't pink inside. But the only thing I could see is little white specks. Maybe they should try those at the
It's
Well,
fair.
I hope you're enjoying our podcast
I know
while you
exactly.
enjoy a meal.
Back to the carnival food stuff. I was telling Hudson, we were watching the Minnesota one. I'm curious to see like what are they going to do with lasagna this year? What are they going to do with burgers this year? And especially like the desserts. Like I'm all for the desserts, just not with mashed potatoes and pulled pork. But desserts are really cool.
We've been talking about the foods that they do serve. We've been talking about weird foods in general. But if you would start up your own little food truck at the fair this year, what food would you serve up? Something that you've always thought about pairing it together, and this is where it's going to go big.
I think we're kind of getting on a little spicy tip in America these days. I feel like people are really into the hot ones and all these different kind of chili peppers. So I kind of would want to do a jalapeno popper of sorts. Maybe a jalapeno popper with a meatball inside or a jalapeno popper with something interesting inside and then double deep fry it so that it's even better.
Double deep fry
Double deep fry.
in a waffle kind, maybe a waffle fried and then waffle batter it up.
Ooh, or you could do a chicken and waffles where you kind of wrap the chicken in the waffle, then batter it and fry it.
That's
I
a
like
lot.
that.
That sounds good. I would get that.
Yeah. Alan's put together some weird concoctions in the past, and it's been late at night, and I've tried some of them of his craziness, and some of them are actually pretty good. So I
Yeah.
would probably go for that. Scotty, what would be your dream scenario?
It would be probably a desserty thing. It would probably involve Nutella,
Mm.
and or cookie butter, which
Ooh,
is a massive thing my
Trader
wife
Joe's.
loves.
Yep.
From Trader
And
Joe's?
Trader
yeah,
Joe's.
and it's got to be let's fry it up and see what happens.
It's whatever it is, fried.
Do you guys like turkey legs? Because I see those people are always walking around at fairs with a giant turkey leg. I'm not a fan.
It's sinewy. That's the problem for me. Like it's hard. It's not like a chicken leg where you just bite off meat.
No,
You're
it's too,
constantly fighting
Cartilage,
whatever that
weird,
stuff.
like weird.
Yeah,
it's just
Yeah.
hard. I never like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Give me a brisket though, with some ice cream.
Oh God.
Well, I think as we wrap things up, I think one of the things that Minnesota State Fair and all Texas, all these places that have started doing that, and then it spread. I think what it's done, because you imagine the quantity of people that come just for the foods. Like when you go on a vacation, a lot of times you're thinking, I'm going to this place, what can I eat there? And I think very few people really go just for the rides anymore. I
Yeah.
think, and the games are a ripoff.
Yep.
I think the food keeps you going to the fair. So I think it's a huge part of what we celebrate as we go to these different events.
Yep, and there's probably a fair coming near you, and I'm hoping that we got you hype. Maybe some of these foods got you a little excited of what you're going to be tasting this year. Maybe not. Don't worry, I don't believe they're going to be serving up the Rocky Mountain oysters at the fair, but you never know. But fun talking about food. Now I'm hungry. Now I'm thinking about eating something weird today.
We'll go to Cookout, I guess.
Oh, for the walking
Get your
taco.
walking taco.
Thank you so much for hanging out and talking food with us. Hit a fair if you got one coming to you and eat something good. Hudson and Scotty B need a therapist. I'm Hudson Hott, Scotty Blaisdell, and Alan Wagner, our therapist. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. Peace in the chicken grease.
See ya.
See you guys.